The San Francisco 49ers, a franchise synonymous with innovation, legends, and dominance. From the Bill Walsh dynasty of the 1980s to the power of the Harbaugh years and today's Shanahan-led resurgence, the Niners are as iconic as the Golden Gate Bridge. But here's the question. Can San Francisco turn their modern-day contenders into champions again, or will they remain haunted by near misses? Today, we shine the spotlight on the 49ers, thus their history, their highs, their heartbreaks, and what lies ahead in 2025. The San Francisco 49ers were founded in 1946 by Tony Morabito as a charter member of the All-America Football Conference, AAFC. They were the first major professional sports franchise based in San Francisco, giving the city a team to rally behind in the post-war years. Their name honored the prospectors of 1849 Gold Rush, tying the team's identity to the very roots of California history. When the AAFC folded in 1949, the 49ers were one of only 3 teams absorbed into the NFL, joining alongside the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Colts. In the early decades, the 49ers were competitive but struggled to get over the hump. Stars like Y.A. Tittle, Joe the Jet Perry, and Hugh McElhenney, all Hall of Famers, brought excitement to Kezar Stadium in the 1950s, forming the famous million-dollar backfield. Despite their talent, however, the Niners couldn't capture a championship, often being overshadowed by teams like the Detroit Lions and Cleveland Browns. The franchise's fortunes changed dramatically in 1979 with the hiring of Bill Walsh as head coach and the drafting of Joe Montana. Walsh's West Coast offense, built on short, precise passes and perfect timing, revolutionized the game. Paired with Montana's poise and later Jerry Rice, the greatest wide receiver in NFL history, San Francisco built one of the greatest dynasties in sports. The 49ers won 4 Super Bowls in the 1980s, 1981, 1984, 1988, 1989, and added a 5th in 1994 with Steve Young under center. This golden era not only defined the franchise but reshaped how football was played across the league. By the 2000s, after years of dominance, the 49ers fell into decline following Young's retirement. The franchise cycled through coaches and quarterbacks, suffering through losing seasons in the mid-2000s, but their resilience brought them back. Under Jim Harbaugh in the early 2000s, they returned to prominence, reaching Super Bowl 47 in 2012, only to fall just short to the Baltimore Ravens. The modern 49ers, led by Kyle Shanahan, have built one of the NFL's most complete rosters, blending old-school toughness with cutting-edge offensive schemes. With stars like Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and Christian McCaffrey, San Francisco has reached 3 NFC championships and 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. Though heartbreak has followed, they remain perennial contenders and one of the most feared teams in the NFL. Through it all, the 49ers' legacy is clear: innovation, dominance, and resilience. From the million-dollar backfield to Montana and Rice, from the catch to Shanahan's juggernaut, San Francisco has always been at the center of football history. Fun fact, number 1, did you know the San Francisco 49ers' million-dollar backfield is the only one with all 4 members in the Hall of Fame? In the 1950s, the 49ers featured Y.A. Tittle, quarterback, Joe the Jet Perry, fullback, Hugh McElhenney, halfback, and John Henry Johnson, halfback. All 4 eventually made it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, making them the only backfield in NFL history to achieve that honor. The 49ers uniforms are as classic as their history. Their red and gold color scheme, symbolizing San Francisco's Gold Rush heritage, has been a fixture since their early years. The classic look, red jerseys with gold helmets and pants, became iconic during the dynasty years of the 1980s and 1990s. Occasional alternates like the all-black color rush set or 1955 throwbacks have appeared, but the traditional red and gold remains timeless. The team originally played at Kezar Stadium, nestled in Golden Gate Park from 1946 until 1970. Though intimate, Kezar was notorious for its poor facilities and brutal winds. In 1971, the 49ers moved to Candlestick Park, a cold, blustery stadium that became both hated and beloved. It was at Candlestick that Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and Steve Young delivered their greatest moments. In 2014, the team moved south to Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, a modern, high-tech venue that has already hosted a Super Bowl and major international events. Fun fact number 2, did you know the 49ers helmet design came from an accident? When the 49ers switched from silver to gold helmets in 1964, the team briefly unveiled a helmet with an interlocking SF logo, but in their first design, the letters accidentally overlapped and didn't look right. The corrected version stuck, and today's red SF oval remains one of the NFL's most recognizable logos. The 49ers' legendary high points stretch across decades, defined by dynasties, iconic players, and moments that shaped the NFL itself. It all began in the 1981 season when a young head coach named Bill Walsh and his innovative West Coast offense changed football forever. With quarterback Joe Montana executing Walsh's precise passing system, the 49ers quickly became a new force in the NFC. Their breakthrough came in the 1981 NFC Championship game against the Dallas Cowboys. Down late in the game, Montana rolled right under pressure and lofted a pass high into the end zone. Dwight Clark leapt and made a fingertip grab forever immortalized as the catch. That single play not only sent San Francisco to its first Super Bowl, but also marked the passing of the NFC torch from Dallas to San Francisco. The Niners would go on to defeat the Bengals in Super Bowl 16, the first of many championships. Over the next decade, the 49ers built a dynasty. With Montana at the helm, they won 4 Super Bowls in the 1980s, 1981, 1984, 1988, 1989. Along the way, stars emerged who would become legends. Jerry Rice, drafted in 1985, became the greatest wide receiver and arguably the greatest player in NFL history, holding records for receptions, yards, and touchdowns that still stand. Paired with Montana, Rice redefined the passing game, producing highlight after highlight and dominating defenses. The defense played just as large a role in those glory years. Players like Ronnie Lott, a fierce safety known for his devastating hits and leadership, set the tone for the secondary. Charles Haley became one of the most feared pass rushers in football, while Keena Turner and Fred Dean anchored a physical, championship-caliber defense. The 49ers capped the 1980s by winning back-to-back Super Bowls in 1988 and 1989, cementing themselves as the team of the decade. Montana, Rice, Clark, Lott, Haley, and Walsh had built something immortal, an NFL empire. But the dynasty didn't end there. In the 1990s, the torch passed to Steve Young, who finally stepped out of Montana's shadow. Young was a different kind of quarterback, mobile, accurate, and dangerous both in the pocket and on the run. His crowning moment came in Super Bowl 29 in 1994, when he threw a record 6 touchdown passes against the San Diego Chargers, securing the franchise's 5th Lombardi trophy. With Rice still at his peak and stars like Ricky Watters, Merton Hanks, and Deion Sanders contributing, that team was considered one of the most complete in NFL history. Even beyond the dynasty years, the 49ers' high points continued into the modern era. In the early 2000s, under Jim Harbaugh, the Niners rediscovered their identity, powered by stars like Patrick Willis, Frank Gore, and Vernon Davis. They reached 3 straight NFC championship games and appeared in Super Bowl 47 in 2012, narrowly losing to the Ravens. Most recently, under Kyle Shanahan, the 49ers have built yet another powerhouse roster, with Nick Bosa terrorizing quarterbacks, Fred Warner controlling the defense, and offensive playmakers like George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, and Christian McCaffrey. San Francisco has reached 2 more Super Bowls in 2019 and 2023. While heartbreak has defined those endings, the Niners remain perennial contenders, and the faithful continue to believe that a 6th Lombardi is within reach. From the catch to Montana's cool precision, Rice's unstoppable dominance, Young's record-breaking Super Bowl, and today's superstar core, the 49ers' legendary high points are not just highlights of franchise history, they are defining chapters in the history of the NFL itself. Fun fact number 3. Did you know the infamous play known as the catch saved Bill Walsh's job? Heading into the 1981 NFC Championship game against Dallas, Bill Walsh was facing pressure after just 3 seasons and limited success. If the 49ers had lost that day, insiders believed Walsh might not have lasted much longer. Instead, Dwight Clark's fingertip grab launched a dynasty and cemented Walsh's legacy as a genius. For all their glory, the 49ers have endured painful lows. After Steve Young's retirement in 1999, the team entered a long decline, plagued by instability at quarterback and a revolving door of head coaches. From 2003 to 2010, the Niners failed to post a single winning season, leaving fans frustrated. The near misses have also hurt. In 2012's Super Bowl 47, the Niners stormed back from a 28-6 deficit against the Ravens only to fall short on a controversial no call in the red zone. In Super Bowl LI5 in 2019, they led Patrick Mahomes' Chiefs by 10 points with 7 minutes left but collapsed down the stretch. And in Super Bowl 58 in 2023, another matchup with the Chiefs ended in heartbreak as San Francisco lost in overtime. The 49ers' history is loaded with legends. Joe Montana, with his 4 Super Bowl titles and calm under pressure, is considered one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Jerry Rice isn't just the best receiver of all time. He's arguably the best player in NFL history, holding nearly every major receiving record. Steve Young brought a dual-threat ability rare for his era, winning league MVPs and a Super Bowl MVP. On defense, Ronnie Lott was the enforcer of the secondary, feared for his devastating hits and unmatched leadership. Charles Haley, the only player with 5 Super Bowl rings as a player, wreaked havoc on offensive lines. Modern stars like Patrick Willis, Frank Gore, and George Kittle have also cemented themselves as icons of their eras. And of course, no list is complete without Bill Walsh, the genius coach whose offensive innovation transformed the game and whose coaching tree spread his philosophies across the NFL. Fun fact number 4. Did you know the 49ers were the first team to win 5 Super Bowls? By 1994, after their victory in Super Bowl 29, the Niners became the first franchise to collect 5 Lombardi trophies. At the time, no other team had reached that mark, cementing San Francisco as the league's standard-bearer. The 49ers coaching story stretches back to the very beginning of the franchise in 1946. Their first head coach was Buck Shaw, a respected football mind who led the team through its early years in the All-America Football Conference, AAFC. Shaw coached the Niners from 1946 to 1954, guiding them to steady success in the AAFC, including a 12-2 record in 1948 before the team joined the NFL in 1957-1949. Shaw was succeeded by Red Strader, 1955 to 1956, who struggled to sustain the team's early competitiveness. Then came Frankie Albert, the franchise's first star quarterback-turned-coach, who served as head coach from 1956 to 1958. Though popular with fans, Albert's coaching tenure produced mixed results. In 1959, Howard "Red" Hickey took over and is remembered for introducing the shotgun formation to the NFL in 1960, a radical innovation at the time. While Hickey's creative mind left a mark on the league, his teams could not consistently win, and he resigned midway through the 1963 season. The 1960s were a transitional decade. After Hickey, the team was led by Jack Christensen, 1963 to 1967, a former Detroit Lions star safety. Christensen's tenure was highlighted by developing young talents like quarterback John Brody, though playoff success eluded the team. He was followed by Dick Nolan, 1968 to 1975, who brought the 49ers back to relevance. Under Nolan, San Francisco reached the NFC Championship game 3 straight times from 1970 to 1972, but fell short each time, often at the hands of their nemesis, the Dallas Cowboys. After Nolan, a turbulent stretch followed. Monty Clark, 76, lasted just 1 season, and Ken Meyer, 1977, only managed a single year himself. Then came Pete McCulley in 1978, but he was fired just 9 games into the season. Interim coach Fred O'Connor finished out the year before giving way to Bill Walsh in 1979, and that's when everything changed. Walsh revolutionized football with his West Coast offense, drafting Joe Montana and building a dynasty that delivered 3 Super Bowl titles in the 1980s. His successor, George Seifert, continued the standard, winning 2 more Super Bowls in 1989 and 1994. Later coaches included Steve Mariucci, 1997 to 2002, who brought stability in playoff appearances and a turbulent era of struggles with names like Dennis Erickson, Mike Nolan, and Mike Singletary through the 2000s. Jim Harbaugh reignited the franchise in 2011, guiding them to a Super Bowl appearance and 3 NFC Championship games in 4 years. Today, the 49ers are led by Kyle Shanahan, who has cemented himself as one of the NFL's most creative offensive minds. Under Shanahan, San Francisco has been to multiple NFC Championship games and 2 Super Bowls in 5 years. While he's still chasing his first Lombardi trophy as a head coach, Shanahan has the faithful believing that the franchise is on the verge of another golden era. The 2024 49ers continued their run as one of the NFC's most consistent contenders. Quarterback Brock Purdy solidified himself as more than just a Mr. Irrelevant underdog story, throwing for over 4,000 yards and leading the offense with poise. Christian McCaffrey put together another all-pro season, dominating both as a rusher and receiver, while Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk provided explosive playmaking. On defense, Nick Bosa continued to terrorize quarterbacks, and Fred Warner anchored the linebacking core as one of the league's best. San Francisco claimed another NFC West title and reached the NFC Championship, but fell short against a hungry opponent. While the loss stung, the 49ers remain loaded with talent and among the league's top Super Bowl threats. The 49ers entered the 2025 draft with one goal in mind: reload their defense and protect their championship window. In the first round, they landed Mikel Williams, the explosive edge rusher out of Georgia, at 6 feet 5 inches, 265 pounds. Williams brings the size and athleticism to become Nick Bosa's perfect running mate on the outside. While he battled an ankle injury in college, his upside as a pass rusher made him one of the most intriguing picks of the first round. In the second round, San Francisco added massive defensive tackle Alfred Collins from Texas, a 6'6", 330-pound run stuffer who should immediately help plug the middle and keep the defense stout against power rushing attacks. The defensive theme continued in the third round with the selection of Nick Martin, a linebacker from Oklahoma State praised for his physicality and instincts. Though he missed some time with an MCL injury, Martin projects as a versatile depth piece who can rotate in alongside Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. In the fourth round, the Niners doubled down in the trenches with C.J. West, a defensive tackle from Indiana who provides developmental depth and could grow into a key rotational player. The final pick of the draft may have been the most interesting. Curtis Rourke, a quarterback from Indiana, taken in the seventh round. Rourke threw for more than 10,000 yards in college and showed resilience battling back from an ACL tear. While he's not expected to push Brock Purdy anytime soon, he offers intriguing long-term potential as a developmental passer. Analysts graded the 49ers draft positively, praising their focus on the front seven and the value of players like Martin and Collins. Much of the class's success, however, will hinge on Williams' ability to stay healthy and emerge as a true difference maker. If he develops into the disruptive force San Francisco believes he can be, this draft could be remembered as one that extended the team's Super Bowl window. The 49ers enter the 2025 season once again positioned as one of the NFC's elite, but with a cloud of uncertainty after a major shakeup. The loss of Deebo Samuel, the team's versatile playmaker and emotional spark, leaves a gaping hole in Kyle Shanahan's offense. For years, Samuel was the engine of the attack, lining up at wide receiver, running back, and everywhere in between, forcing defenses to account for him on every snap. His absence puts even more pressure on Brandon Ayuk to deliver as the team's top receiving threat, and on Christian McCaffrey to carry the load as both a rusher and pass catcher. While Shanahan's system has always been about maximizing talent and creativity, replacing Deebo's unique skill set will be no small task. Still, the 49ers remain one of the most complete rosters in football. Quarterback Brock Purdy has solidified himself as more than just a Mr. Irrelevant story. He's efficient, accurate, and poised with the respect of the locker room. McCaffrey remains one of the NFL's best weapons, and George Kittle continues to be the heart of the offense, equally dominant as a blocker and a pass catcher. But for San Francisco to thrive offensively, they'll need younger players to step up and help fill the void Samuel leaves behind. Defensively, the 49ers look as terrifying as ever. Nick Bosa remains one of the league's most dominant edge rushers, and now he'll be paired with rookie Mikel Williams, who has the potential to develop into a nightmare opposite him. On the interior, Alfred Collins joins a rotation that already includes Eric Armstead and Javon Hargrave, giving San Francisco the size and strength to stuff the run. Linebackers Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw still anchor one of the best units in football, and the secondary, while not flawless, has improved depth thanks to late-round additions. Vegas currently projects the 49ers at 11 to 12 wins, making them heavy favorites to once again capture the NFC West and contend for the top seed in the conference. But while the defense looks like it could be the best in the NFL, the offense faces its biggest test in years. Can Shanahan's creativity and Purdy's steady play overcome the loss of Deebo Samuel, or will his absence haunt San Francisco in the biggest moments? One thing is certain, the 49ers remain firmly in their championship window. The faithful believe this is still the year the franchise can capture Lombardi Trophy number 6, but without Debo, the margin for error is thinner than ever. Fun fact number 5, did you know the 49ers once wore silver and red uniforms? Before adopting their iconic red and gold look, the 49ers originally wore red jerseys with silver helmets and pants in the late 1940s and early 1950s. The gold wasn't added until 1964 when the team fully leaned into their Gold Rush-inspired identity. From the catch to 5 Lombardi trophies, from Montana and Rice to today's stars, the San Francisco 49ers have always been at the heart of NFL greatness. Their history is built on dynasties, innovation, and unforgettable legends. The question now is simple. Will this era of 49ers football finally bring another Lombardi back to the Bay? And before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe to Spotlight Stories NFL, where every team has a story, and we put them under the spotlight.